All right, good afternoon. My name is Jonathan. It's a very difficult last name. It's Ng. If you can't remember it, Mr. Nice Guy. That would be the easiest way to remember me. So I'm the Global Sales Director for Hexagon. And on top of that, I'm actually a postgraduate student at University of Oxford. And that is why I'm also going to talk about AI, where there is a module that I'm doing on artificial intelligence and how we can actually use it in the construction industry. Right? So this is where I'm using both my hats and trying to do this presentation. So again, very quickly, most of you have never heard of Hexagon, probably, right? But we are actually a fairly large organization. It's fairly large, probably one of the biggest in this whole arena here. We did about $5.5 billion US dollars revenue last year, 24,000 employees. And again, the main reason why you don't hear of us, we operate under different brands, right? You may have heard of Leica, right? You probably are using a Leica scanner, ACTAC. One of these tools, it's all owned by us. So Hexagon is basically the mothership that basically we manage all of these under different brands. And again, hence the biggest question, the best kept secret of Hexagon. But if you look at Hexagon, right, if we are in multiple industries, right? We go from agriculture, industrial, and of course, not to forget buildings and infrastructure. But one of the key things is that in the industrial world, in oil and gas, they've been using 3D models for the last 20, 30 years. Nothing new, right? In the way of coordination, in the way of construction management, they've been doing this for a very long time. And this is where at Hexagon, we are looking to get all these best practices and bring it across to the buildings and infrastructure because we are a bit of a laggard in technology in buildings and infrastructure. So that is where I am focused. I used to be part of the industrial division. I've moved across to this geosystems or the construction-related area. Right, so that's Hexagon in a brief, but let's just look at what we see in terms of the construction industry. Right? So I think everybody knows this, that in the last couple of years, material costs have gone up, escalation of labor, of course, COVID didn't help, and all the big issues, right? So ultimately, what governments have done is they've thrown a lot of money into public projects, right? They've gone into civil infrastructure. In the UK, where I'm based now, you've got HS2, you've got a lot of these big projects. But still, there is that silver lining. Right? There is that silver lining in terms of buildings like data centers. Here in Ireland, data centers are the best thing, right? Fit outs are still going very strong, and even some luxury parts are still a market that is being worked on. So broadly, that's where we see in terms of the construction industry globally. But if you look at technologies, right, you can see this, it's a very messy slide, but this was a McKinsey study in terms of technologies that could be applied, right? And I'm circling a few areas, right? Of course, BIM. I'm at a BIM Coordinators Summit, so I definitely have to talk about BIM. But you've got other things like project management, artificial intelligence, or even just managing all that information together, right? So this is where Hexagon has spent a lot of effort in terms of putting together our portfolio that covers that whole life cycle from design, plan, build, all the way to operations. And this is really what Hexagon can even offer to the building market from a design tool, a CDE, all the way to construction management. So you see a lot of different companies out there. We probably have bits and pieces of everything that is outside in this arena, right? From the design softwares all the way to operation and maintenance. But now to talk a bit more about how all these can apply and bringing it back with artificial intelligence. So this, you may or may not have seen what we call as our BLK autonomy, right? From BLK to Go. This won the Time Magazine Inventor Award of the Year last year in 2022, right? This uses lots of technology that you can literally just walk around and get all the information scanning via LiDAR, visual, or even internal measuring units. The BLK to Fly. This is not a drone. This is not a drone that you pilot. This is an autonomous scanner. All you have to do is say what you want to scan, it flies and scans. That is where AI is today. It is autonomous technology for scanning. I literally do not have to walk around to scan this building. The last one, Spot the Dog, as you saw in the earlier presentation. But again, this is a drone. This is a scanner on top of Spot that allows you to work in hazardous locations. So some of our projects includes like nuclear plants, radiation, right? You don't want a guy to walk in and scan that building. It's not the best thing to do. So you send Spot in, right? You send Spot in to scan. You send basically what we call as BLK up with our scanners so that you can make use of these AI technologies. The next thing, again, very quickly, is using all these cameras, right? We've got competitors out there that talk about cameras, but a lot of these, things like safety, right? One of the big issues is whether people are wearing a high-vis jacket, the hard hat, or whether they are hooked up when they're doing work at heights. All these can be spotted using artificial intelligence. So whenever someone's not wearing a hard hat, our camera sends you a notification that this guy is not in the proper gear. He does not have proper PPE. So all these technologies are really able to be used right today. We're not talking about 5 years later or AI that is 10 years later. These are technologies that are commercially available today. But if you put that together, these are AI things, and this whole conference is about data, right? We are trying to build BIM models, we are doing a lot of great stuff, but the biggest problem that we see is that it's never getting to the field guy. The guy with the boots are never getting that BIM models, they are never getting the schedules. It's all stuck in the site office or in some planner's computer, right? So this is where we want to introduce a new technology, right? This is where Hexagon AEC Project Viewer, we have just launched this. This is a free-to-use, unlimited timeline, unlimited users, which provide 3 main functions. It's a model viewer. So what this gives you is that you can bring in your Revit models, your IFCs, whatever, drag and drop. Everybody can get this for free, right? This has direct integration with ACC, with Procore, so you can keep your models there. We will suck it in, do the federation, and then people have access to this for free, right? This is not a time-limited 30-day trial. This is free for life. The next thing that we are offering is a schedule viewer. So again, if you're using Primavera, Microsoft Project, Power Project, or even Excel, load your schedule here for free. Instead of printing, giving a PDF, everybody now has access to this schedule, right? So getting that data into the hands of the worker. This is the second thing. And the third one is a document viewer, right? So again, a very simple example is I receive a DWG drawing. I just need to open it, do some markups and things like that. I'll buy a copy of different CAD software. I shall not name them. But now, free. You can open 27 file formats. Sorry, it's now 27. It's no longer 23. All for free that you're able to access the information. The main thing here is we want all these data that everybody, all this good work that everybody's doing to get into everybody's hands, right? And of course, the big question everybody's asking, why is Hexagon doing this? What's the catch? The catch is really, we want this data to be out there. Secondly, once you have your model, you have your schedule, the next logical question is, can we link them together? Can we do construction sequencing? Can we do plan versus actual? The answers are yes, right? And then that's where Hexagon starts selling you products. But if you do not require any of these advanced workflows, you do not require point clouds, you don't require all of this, you can use this for free. We believe we need to make that change. And that is why at Hexagon, we are doing this, right? We are giving this away for free. I'll show you the QR code in a minute. But this is not just on the browser, right? We've got one more click. This is basically all the different things, whether you're loading your models. I'm just going to click through because in terms of time, right? Whoops, one more. All the integrations, everything, so that people have access to it, right? That is the most important thing. Today, everything is nice and dandy, but it's stuck in the BIM and VDC departments. Planners do it in their Synchros, on their Primavera, in isolation. We want to change that at Hexagon, right? So all of this is on the browser. If you prefer iOS and Android apps, Just gonna click all of them. Once more, everything available. Offline capabilities. So this is the way that we are going to change or help to change the building and infrastructure market. We need a way that you are able to download all these, view the information, and really collaborate. And that is why at Hexagon, we are doing this for free, trying to get all the information out so that people have access to it. And therefore, that's the nice QR code. You can go and register, right? Again, this is not time limited. This is really a free-to-use software that allows people to do their model, schedule, and document viewing. With that, thank you.